Welcome everyone to Mentor School. My name is Banu Sai representing Mentor School. Today I'm going to focus on introduction to automation using Selenium. Before we get into introduction to automation using Selenium, let me introduce myself. As I told, my name is Banu Sai. I have around 5 plus years of experience in IT. Last 5 years I was there with automation. Initially I worked as a manual test engineer. Then I moved to automation as per project requirements. Then I spent my time in automation on automating the web applications, window applications, mobile applications, as well as IVR applications. Then I get a chance and I move to a well-known organization. I work with different clients. This is little bit about myself. So to migrate into automation, to start automation, these are the prerequisites needed. Basic awareness on any programming language and manual testing concepts awareness. But you may not worry about these things. This is just a basic and it's just a suggestion. Even you don't know, also no problem. Even you are on a white paper, also no problem. This is just a suggestion. So any programming language, basic awareness is needed. So any programming language, basic awareness in the sense here. So if you're comfortable with data types, variables, conditions, conditional statement, if condition, if else condition, nested if, loops, for loop, while loop, and some OOPS concepts, object, class, method, these type of things. If you are comfortable, then that's fine. Even you don't are completely new to programming also, you don't need to worry, but a little attention is needed. That's it. And particularly about manual testing awareness also. So you should have some idea over this manual testing concept. On manual testing also, if you're completely new to testing or if you're completely new to IT domain also, no need to worry about that. So little attention is needed to learn these topics. So in this course, in this today's session particularly, what you are going to learn. These are the topics we are going to discuss. Software development lifecycle, which waterfall SDLC model we are going to discuss. Along with that, we are going to see why we have to go for automation. What does it mean by automation? Why we have to go for automation? What is the difference between manual testing and automation testing? As you know, testing can be done in two ways. One is manual, and the second approach is automation testing if needed. So let me start with software development lifecycle model. Before I start this software development lifecycle model, let me give a high level information. What does it mean by software? Software. Software means set of executable programs run on any electronic device. Set of executable programs run on any electronic device. Set of executable programs, working programs. Working programs run on any electronic device. Example, it can be your computer, it can be your washing machine, your AC, your smartphone, like many electronic devices which are working on software. So I again repeating that set of working programs, executable programs run on any electronic device. So to develop this software, we need to follow certain procedure. The process which is followed to develop a software is called as software development lifecycle. Process involved in developing a software is called software development lifecycle. Let me give a simple example regarding this set of executable programs. Okay, so if you take this calculator application, if you take this calculator application. So in this, we can perform many operations. Using this calculator, we can perform many operations. Let's say for addition, we wrote one program. And for multiplication, we wrote one program. For division, we developed one program. For subtraction, we wrote one program. So all together, and you need to make sure all these are working programs. Suppose you are you are doing the addition operation. 5 plus 2, it should result 7, but it should not result 0, right? So or else it should not result 3. So exactly it should result accurate value 5 plus 2 as 7, right? Similarly, in such a way, you need to develop each and every program effectively. That too, it should be a working program. So all these programs together, you're calling it as a integrating all these programs together, and you're calling it as a calculator, right? So this is the simple example for software working programs. Yeah. So as it is not possible to cover all the SDLC models, to make you aware of the importance of testing, the importance of manual as well as automation testing, I would like to take you into a waterfall model, a old SDLC model, waterfall SDLC model, a waterfall SDLC model. So with this, you are going to get clarity. So how a software is going to be developed in real time. And how about the role of developers and how about the role of the testers? If you see this particular slide here, so initially software development lifecycle model, waterfall SDLC model, begins with a phase called as software bidding. And one more thing, this waterfall model is also called as a linear sequential model, one after another, one after another. It follows a proper sequence. Okay, so initially it starts with software bidding. What does it mean by software bidding? So software bidding is a proposal to develop a new software. So in the CEO going to attend the software bidding, they will come up with a proposal to develop a new software. Then after that, CEO is going to arrange a kickoff meeting. He will arrange a kickoff meeting and he's going to the purpose of conducting this kickoff meeting is to select a PO. He can be project owner or else he can be the product owner. As you know that there are two types of softwares we are going to work in real time. One is project based or product based. Project based example, Avibus Travels, SBI. So these are the applications which are going to be developed as per the customer requirements, specific customer requirements. That particular specific customer need to invest the money for developing that particular application. Let's say I want an application. I just want an application, Banu Travels website. So to make this application ready, I need to develop this website, I just need to reach any one of the consultants. Suppose I just met TCS. So I need to specify my requirement. This is how the application is needed. This is what the requirement. So these are the modules to be present in that application. This is how the look of the application should be. So and this application should be supported in XYZ operating system. So all this information I'm going to share, and they are going to give the estimation accordingly as per my requirements. So finally, I have to invest the money. So company TCS is going to develop the application, and customer as I'm the customer who is going to invest, who is investing the money for developing that application. So this is what the project gets. Obviously, I will be the owner for this project gets. The Banu bus travels website, I will be the owner, right? So similarly, so if you take a product base, if you talk about product base, just example is the operating system in which you are using. MS of means Microsoft Windows, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, right? So this is a best example for product based software. So product based software here the company is basically the company will be the investor here. Company invests the money, they will just maintain a model customer. Company will be the owner. Or else you can take any antivirus, Avast or K7, McAfee. So like these antiviruses also will be developed based on the market requirements, not as per the specific customer requirements. Based on the common requirements in the market, they are going to develop the product. By the time they are developing the product, company only going to invest the money. So obviously the company is the owner for the product-based software. So simple example, you can utilize the K7 or McAfee or any antivirus, or else even you can use the Windows operating system also up to some certain time period. Once after completion of the time period, you need to purchase the license from the vendor. You need to purchase the license from the company. Okay, to utilize the genuine versions of the Microsoft Windows 10 operating system, you need to purchase the license from it. Right? That is the best example for product-based software. So that's why I'm calling here it as PO. PO can be project-based or it can be product-based. Okay, once after completion of the kickoff meeting, project owner is going to be selected. For now, let us assume that we got the proposal to develop a new software that is a project-based software. So CEO, after conducting the kickoff meeting, he selected PO, project owner. Now project owner is going to be involved in the next level of phase called as overall prep. So this project owner is going to initialize the nodes. He's going to initiate the nodes. We call it as a project initiation nodes. If it is a product phase, we call it as a product initiation nodes. Then after that, the following phase is requirements gathering. Requirements gathering. In requirements gathering, business analyst is going to collect the requirements from the customer regarding what to develop, what to develop. We will just check with the customer. Customer will explain his requirements, how his what are his requirements, what is the how the application should be should look like, appear like, and what are the modules need to be included, what are the things need to be excluded. Like lot more things are going to be covered in this particular phase. So each and every requirement is going to be documented by business analyst. And next following phase is analysis and detail. In this particular phase, system analyst is going to analyze the requirements and he is going to develop a detailed, he is going to come up with a detailed plan. So here system analyst is going to analyze how to develop the application. So in the requirement gathering, business analyst is going to analyze what to develop. But whereas here in the analysis and detail plan, system analyst is going to analyze the requirement document which is shared by the business analyst, and he will prepare the detailed plan how to develop. And the next following phase is designing phase. In the designing phase, technical architect. Technical architect is going to prepare a high level and low level designs. So now from here onwards, if you see business analyst, system analyst, and technical architect. So all this detailed plan as well as high level, low level designs along with the requirements document, everything is going to be shared with the developers as well as testers. So developers once after getting the requirement, they are going to go through the document. Accordingly, they are going to develop the build. They are going to develop a build until unless we release the project into a project application, project-based application or product-based application into the market. You won't call it as a software. You will call it as a build. You use the keyword called as build. Okay, so programmers developed the build and the build is ready for testing. So they release this build for testing. So some programmers are going to involve in this testing phase. They will be doing the testing, implementing the testing for that particular build. Once after successful completion of testing, the build, then the few programmers are going to be involved, will be involved in releasing the build, or else you can say like deploy that build at customer end or deploy the build into the market. And next, after the release, following phase is maintenance phase. In the maintenance phase, we can see that trained freshers. It is like a change control board CCD. So they will maintain a train, they will recruit the freshers and they will provide KT to the trained freshers. They are going to provide the services and support to the resolution to the customer whenever they are struggling while utilizing the application. Okay, this is how the SDLC model waterfall looks like. It's a completely a sequential model. But the purpose of discussing this particular SDLC model is you need to understand the importance of each and every phase, development phase and testing phase. So here we need to focus on testing phase. So if you focus on old SDLC models like waterfall model, incremental model, spiral model, rapid application development model, there are some drawbacks with these SDLC models. The main thing is here. So programmers are developing the build. Same programmers are involving testing the application as well. So this is something like we are attempting the exam, and ourselves we are only going to validate our product. So if I get a chance to validate my paper, I'll just do 100 out of score myself 100 out of 100. So do you think that you're going to get a effective output? So due to that reason, so there will be a lacking in the quality of the software. Why? Because they being in the position of the developers, they thinking they will be every time in the positive mode only. They will, if they don't think positively, they can't develop an application very creatively or effectively. Due to that reason, same programmers are involving in testing when they are doing the testing activity. Due to that reason, there is a lacking in the software quality. So due to that reason, in the advanced SDLC models, like we have advanced SDLC models, advanced SDLC models, fish model, V model, agile model. In agile also many submodels were there. Agile, XP, and Agile Scrum are among all the submodels. XP and Scrum are most popular. Agile and DevOps. So now Agile and DevOps trending in market. So now if you see in these advanced HDLC models, fish model, V model, Agile model, and DevOps, there will be a separate testing team. There will be a separate team for testing. Again, in the testing team also, it is again categorized into two types. Manual testing. Manual testing. Guys who involved in manual testing will be called as STA, software test engineer. And there is one more team called as SDET. SDET. Software development engineer in test. Okay. So I hope now you understood the importance of testing here, role of testing. So now let us get into the next topic. Why we have to go for automation? When we have to go for automation? Already we are having a formalized approach, testing approach, that is a manual testing. Then why we have to get into automation? First of all, let us see what does it mean by automation testing or test automation. So test automation involves automating a manual process already in place that uses a formalized testing process. In a single line, you can conclude that converting manual test cases into the test scripts is called as test automation. So, but why we have to go for automation and when we have to go for automation? There are several factors like that. But out of all the factors, so these are very important. So the thing here, if you notice, whenever frequent regression testing is needed, then we have to go for it's better to go for automation. Whenever repeated test case execution is required, and whenever you need to provide faster feedback to developers, it's better to go for automation to reduce the human effort. If you want, if customer is request as per the customer requirement, you need to test the application on different environments. Different environments, it can be different operating system or else different browsers to check either it is compatibility that is working on different browsers versions as well as on different operating systems. Okay. So to do this activity, it will consume huge amount of time as well as lot more human effort is needed. Even it show impact in providing quick feedback to developers. Due to that reason, we need to switch into automation. So in the next coming example, you will understand these things: frequent regression testing and reduce the human effort, time, and all faster feedback. All these things you are going to get clarity in the next coming few minutes. Practical next. So let's focus on roles of manual test engineer and automation test engineer. So as a manual test engineer, what will be your job role? Testing, we are telling testing. What is this testing about? What we are going to do in testing? What we have to do in testing? What is this testing about? So to do this, to get into this manual testing as a manual test engineer, so we use this terminology STE, software test engineer, manual testing called as software test engineer. So let us come into the discuss the role of test engineer. So initially, role of the test engineer begins with studying the user stories. In Agile SDLC model, or in advanced SDLC models, you call them as with a different terminology called as user stories. But its meaning is requirements. As we discussed in the waterfall SDLC model, if you once get back here, so as soon as all the requirements document is ready and the detailed plan and high level, low level designs were ready, so all these documents are going to be shared with the developers as well as testers. So now you manual test engineer is going to get this document. You have to study the document, means you have to study all the requirements which are updated in the document. And if he is stuck in somewhere, he need to make sure and he need to clear all the clarifications regarding the requirements. Once he is familiar with the requirements, he will be allocated with a specific module. Where a single manual test engineer is not going to test all the modules. So for each and every out of the team, each and every manual test engineer is going to be allocated with some specific modules. So as per the modules assigned to you, you are going to prepare the test scenarios, test cases along with the test data for the specific modules assigned to you. Okay, so by the time you are preparing test scenarios, test cases, and test data getting ready, by the time application, the build is also going to get ready. Once the build is ready, so you are going to run these test scenarios, test cases along with the test data on the build. So here in advanced SDLC model, we use a terminology called as sprint. For your understanding, sprint means software. Anyhow, but you should not use the terminology software until and unless we release that project or product into the market. So in old SDLC models, you will use the terminology called as build. So in advanced SDLC models, we use the terminology called as sprint, meaning is same. For your understanding, you can think like it's a software. Okay, so as a manual test engineer, once the build is ready, by the time the build is ready, we are going to execute these test scenarios, test cases along with the test data on the applications by using mouse and keyboard. We are going to use input peripheral devices like mouse and keyboard. And let me show you a simple example for this manual testing. So this is the hands-on thing which we are going to do now. So if you observe the test scenario here, stating that launch Chrome browser, go to the test URL way2sms.com, fill the phone number into the fill the phone number text box with the relevant data, fill the password text box with relevant data, and click on login button. Then after that, once after successful login, just close the browser. So here the verification point is expected URL after successful login. After successful login, you are going to get this particular URL. And you need to check when you are running the application using your mouse and keyboard by giving these valid usernames and passwords, the username and password you are doing login, you need to check either you are able to see this particular URL or not. If you get this URL, means this is the customer expectation, customer requirements. This is the step, these are the information which will be available in the document. So by referring the document, you need to, means referring the test scenarios and test cases, you need to test the application accordingly. So your expectation is this one. Actually, after giving the username and password and you are doing login, you are getting this URL. So expected and actual both are matching. Expected URL is this one. By in the real time when you're running the application using mouse and keyboard, by filling these text boxes and performing click operation on login button, once you get this, the same URL you are getting means you are going to pass the test case. But here if you are not getting the same URL means, so you are going to fail the test case. So as well as in this scenario, you can see multiple data here. So valid username, valid password, valid username, invalid password, invalid username, valid password, invalid username, invalid password. Like many cases will be there. So if you come back to this particular slide here, why and when to automate. So test the same application on multiple applications. Repeated test case execution is needed. Faster feedback to provide faster feedback to the developers and to reduce the human effort. Let me give a simple example here. Suppose if you take the same scenario, if you take this scenario, this particular scenario, here we have only 4 usernames and 4 passwords. 4 usernames, 4 passwords means. So let me show this manually how I am doing. Manually, I'm going to test the application following this test scenario and test cases. Following the test scenarios and along with the test cases and the test data. So now, so the step one is launch the Chrome browser. Okay, let me launch the Chrome browser. Let me launch the Chrome browser. Okay, I'm able to launch the Chrome browser now using mouse and keyboard. I'm just using my mouse to operate to launch the browser. Okay, now I'm able to launch the Chrome browser. So in the step one, as per the drop steps. So I launched the Chrome browser. Then after that, go to the test URL www.way2sms.com. Okay, I went to the URL and navigated to the URL way2sms.com. Then after that, what is the next step? Fill the phone number text box with the data. Fill the password text box with the data and click login. Verify the page, verify the login page, verify the login page, check that either it is displaying this particular URL or not for after successful login. Okay, so here we have already some data is there. So let me do this with valid username. This is the valid username. And valid password. If you see here, this is the base URL www.wtsms.com. Now, if you observe carefully here, after successful login, this particular URL is going to get updated. So now click on the login button. Okay, let me proceed with some other data. So valid username and valid password. So now you can see that expected URL here, way2sms.com send SMS. So as per the documentation, as per the customer expectation, I'm able to see the expected URL as after successful login. I'm able to see the expected URL as way2sms.com send SMS. So the expected URL and actual URL both are same. So I'm going to pass the text. So let me update the data. Due to some reason, I'm not able to use this data. So this is the valid username and this is the valid password. So the next one criteria is valid username, invalid password. Now after successful login, just log out and close the browser. As per the steps, close the browser. So valid username and valid password. As per the customer expectations, as per the customer requirements, by giving valid username and valid password, you are able to log into the way2sms successfully, and it is generating the current URL, means the URL also this one. Send SMS as per the customer expectation. So I'm going to pass the test passed. So now let us do the same activity. So again, you need to repeat. So now with the second data, so like that we have 4 rows of data, 4 fields were there. So let me repeat. Launch the browser. Now pass the test URL. Pass the test URL into the Chrome browser. Repeat the activity. So give the valid username 97 and give the password, invalid password, which is an invalid password. Click login. Are you able to see any change in this URL? since you give invalid username and invalid password, you are not able to get into this particular expected URL. So this is the URL you need to get once the login is successful. So here the login is failed due to the valid username and invalid password. So here expected URL is this one, and the actual URL after giving the username and password is returning us this one, way2sms.com base URL only. So due to that reason, you are going to fail the test case. Similarly, let us try with invalid username and valid password. Invalid username and valid password. So if you give invalid username and password, so again, let me launch the browser. Invalid username and valid password. The URL is remaining same and login is becoming unsuccessful and the URL is not changing. So you can see here the expected URL is customer expected URL is this one. This is the customer expected URL and the actual URL you are seeing is this one. This is the actual URL you are seeing by filling the text boxes with username and password. So due to that reason, you are going to fail the test case. So once you do the, again we are going to try with both are invalid username and invalid password. Invalid again means to repeat this activity to test this module, login module. Again, you need to launch the browser. Again, you need to pass the URL. After passing the URL, you need to give the username. So invalid username I'm giving, invalid password I'm giving. And now I'm trying to do login. So now the login is successful due to the login is unsuccessful due to the invalid data which was given by us. So now you can see the URL. That URL is remaining same here. Remaining same here means it is not changing. When the URL is going to get updated, once you give a valid username and valid password, then only this URL is going to be updated, and this the expected URL which you are going to get is this one. Since you give invalid username and invalid password, you are not getting this URL and it is remaining same like. So due to that reason, we are going to fail the test case. This is just a simple example. Generally, in the core level, in the modularized level, when you're getting into that, each and every step we are going to add separate test cases. For valid data, we are going to add some separate test case, and for invalid data also we are going to add the separate test case. So this is just a simple example for your understanding purpose. How we are going to test the application. Suppose as we are having 4 rows of data, means four cells of data. So for four cells of data means so far we launched the browser 4 times. 4 times you have to you need to manually fill the text boxes. Manually you need to click on the buttons, and 4 times you need to manually close the browser. Yes or no? So and as well as you need to verify the URL of the page to make sure that login is successful or not. So here we are placing the verification point as this expected URL. So this is how we have done the manual testing. So now you see, so accordingly by side by side when you're doing this manual testing, you're going to update the result. You're going to update the result as well as why it is failed, in which test is what is the expected requirement, what is the expected value, and what is the actual value. If expectation and actual value both are matching, then you are going to pass the test. If expected and actual both are not matching, then you are going to fail the test case. Okay, yes. So now think like here you have only 4 fields of that. Let's say you are having 90 usernames and 90 passwords. 90 usernames and 90 passwords. So means you have to launch the browser 90 times. You need to pass the URL 90 times. You need to fill the text box of username and password. You need to click on the login button 90 times. 90 times you need to log out, 90 times you need to close the browser. Yes, sir. Right? So think like as per the customer requirement, application need to be tested. Application should be compatible with Chrome browser, Firefox, and Internet Explorer browser. Means on Chrome you need to test 90 times, on Firefox browser you need to test 90 times, on Internet Explorer you need to test 90 times. And now that too, let's say customer requirement is the application should need to be compatible, should work on Windows operating system as well as means on Windows operating system. 270 times you need to 3 nines. means on each browser 90 times. 3 nines are 27 means 270 times you need to test on Windows operating system. Now customer is, as per the customer requirement, you need to test the application on not only on single operating system, you need to test the application on Mac, as well as you need to test the application on Linux also. Like this, these many number of times you need to test your application manually. Think how difficulty it will be, how much time it is going to consume. Now you see these points. If you look into, if you come back to these points, why and when to go to, when we have to go for automation. So we have all these other repeated test cases. So whenever we have repeated test cases needed, if you follow the manual process, it will take much amount of time. It need much human effort, and it will take more time. It will consume more time, and there will be a delay in providing feedback to developers also. When you're testing the application, you need to test your application on different environments, different browsers, and different operating systems. Due to that reason, we need to get to automation. So now, as our course is Selenium automation using Selenium with the Java programming language. Here we are using Java programming language. You can use any programming language which are supported by this Selenium. So most popular programming languages like Java, Python, Node.js, Ruby, all these type of different programming languages are supported by Selenium. So in this, so if you the same test steps if you observe here. Let me update the username and password before I start this. No, valid username, valid password. Valid username, invalid password. Invalid username, valid password. Here both are invalid. Okay. Now here I just updated the data. We have the data as a manual test engineer. We prepared the data in the Excel file. Okay, and this data, that manual test engineers prepared test scenarios, test cases along with the test data. That Excel file is going to be shared with the SDET team. So let us just have a look on SDET role. Then we'll get into the practical example. What will be the role of SDET? So far we have seen the role of manual test engineer. So now let us get into the automation test engineer role. Similarly, so here in automation testing, the one who involved in doing this automation testing will be called as software development engineer in testing. Software development engineer in testing, SDET. Here, developers also doing, means if you see, developers also doing coding as well as SDET people, testers also doing coding. What is the difference here and there means? So developers does coding to develop the application, but we do coding. We do coding in scripting. They also do the scripting. We also do the scripting. We do scripting to break the build, to break the build. Okay. So so if you talk about SDET engineer role, if you see here, similarly like manual test engineer, software development engineer SDET role also begins with studying the requirements document. Whoever you may be, manual test engineer or automation test engineer or developer, you must and should need to go through the document. You must and should need to get clarity over the requirements. And if you see here, you need to, as a SDET also, you need to prepare the scenarios, test cases along with the test data. In some companies, they maintain the same team for manual testing and automation testing. In that case, you only need to prepare manual test scenarios, test cases along with the test data, and yourself only need to convert the test scenarios, test cases along with the test data into the test script. Manual testing activity, automation testing activity, both need to be done by only one thing. In some companies, based on the project requirements, they will maintain a separate team for manual testing. So manual testing will prepare, testing team prepare test scenarios, test cases along with the test data. They will share the document with the SDET people. In that case, SDET people no need to prepare the test scenarios, test cases along with the test data. If company is maintaining same team for manual testing, automation testing, as a SDET, you need to do the manual testing activity also. Means preparing test scenarios, test case along with the test data also need to be done by you only. If company is maintaining same thing, then what next? After preparing test scenarios, test case along with the test data, by the time developer is developing the build, you need to convert the test scenarios, test cases along with the test data into the test script using the most popular test automation tools available in the market like Selenium, Java Robot, QTP. Using these type of test automation tools, you are going to convert them into the test script. This is the process of converting the manual test scenarios, test cases along with the test data into the test script is called as test automation. Test automation. So let's say, so by the time you are preparing this test script, converting them test scenarios, test case along with the test data into the test script, the build is ready. So now you need to execute the test script on the sprint. You can call it as a build, or else you can call it as a, and as for advanced SDLC models, you can call it as a sprint. For your understanding, you can call as a, you can think that is as a software. Okay. So once the script is ready, the script you need to execute on the script you need to execute on the sprint. The process of executing the test script on the application or the sprint or a build is called as automation testing. Now I hope this is making sense, difference between test automation and automation testing. Test automation is process of converting test scenarios, test cases along with the test data into the test script using some test automation tools like Selenium, Java Robot, Symfony, QTP, the different test automation is called as test automation. Whereas executing the test script on the application is called as automation testing. Only one difference you need to notice that here human being is doing the activity, testing the application by using the mouse and keyboard. In automation testing, in place of human being is interacting with the application with the help of mouse and keyboard, the tool is doing the activity which human being is doing here. Which human being is whatever the activity doing by human being here using mouse and keyboard, that's gonna be automated by that can be done by the tool that is called as Selenium tool here, as per all. Okay, yeah. So now let me show you a practical example for the automation testing for the same scenario. So according to that, as I just updated this Excel file with the data, valid username, valid username, invalid password, both are means invalid username, valid password, invalid username, invalid password, and as well as we are going to get the result. So here manually means you need to update the status here, either test is pass or fail. This one also we are going to automate. So if you see on the Eclipse IDE here, if you just have a look on the Eclipse IDE here, so here, as per the steps, I converted the manual test scenarios, test cases into the test script. This is the first step, launch the Chrome browser. Launch Chrome browser. Launch the Chrome browser. For launching the Chrome browser, you need to write down these two lines of code. And to pass the URL into the Chrome browser, you need to write down this single line of the code. And to fill the username into the text username text box with phone number, you need to use this particular line of code. And to automate the text box, password text box, to fill the password text box with data, you need to use this particular field. And to perform click operation on the login button, you need to write down this particular single line of a code called as for login. Okay, and then for next one, for verification point, for a verification point you need to write down. So as I told, uh, basic programming is enough. You don't need to be an expert, even you're completely new also, but little more attention is needed. That's it. Okay, so here we are using if condition. If expected type current URL is this one, then pass the test case. If not, then fail the test case. And as per the last step, close the browser. Close the browser. So for closing the browser, this is the statement which I'm using. So far what I have done here, I just converted the manual test scenarios, test cases along with the test data. Here test data means the test URL is the test data, and the usernames and password which you are seeing here, right? This is also a test data. So I converted the manual test scenarios, test cases along with the test data into the test script. This is what we call it as test automation. Now I'm going to perform automation testing. I'm just running the script. So before I run the script, just let us have a look on the data which I'm talking about. So here in this Excel file, updated all the usernames and passwords. Okay. So let me perform automation testing. So far we have done test automation, like converting the manual test scenarios, test cases, along with the test data into the test script. So now just let me run the script. Running the script is called as, running the script on the application is called as automation testing. I just run the script now. Just wait for it. Chrome browser launch the Chrome browser, pass the test URL, wsms.com. Fill the username and password, text boxes with username and password. I'm not moving my mouse pointer. Everything in place of human being does the activity, this tool is doing. Yeah, click login. Yeah, you can see that URL changed, expected URL and actual URL, what you are seeing on the screen matching. So you passed that. Pass the URL, pass the valid username and invalid password. If you see, click on login button. So it will remain same on the same URL since you have given the valid username and invalid password. Due to that reason, test is going to be failed. Let us repeat the same activity. So again, it is launched for the third time. For the third time, it launched the browser, valid username, sorry, invalid username, valid password. Then click on login button. Yeah. So it is going to remain on the same page only with the same URL. So due to that reason, we are going to fail the test phase. How we are going to confirm login is successful? If you are able to see the URL, waytosms.com slash waytosms, that means the URL is changed, then you are going to confirm that login is successful. If it is remaining on the same URL, means you are going to confirm that login is not successful. Here we just placed the verification point that either that login is successful or not. To confirm that, by giving this invalid username and invalid password, either this login is becoming successful or not. Yeah. So 4 times launched the browser, 4 times closed the browser. So now you can see the output here in the console. So for the valid username and password, test is passed. For the valid and invalid password, valid username, invalid password, test failed. And for the invalid username, valid password, test is failed. For both invalid usernames and invalid password, test is failed. Now let me get into the Excel file where that output is going to be updated. Will be updated in the Excel file. See here, you can see the output here. Valid username, valid password, test passed. Valid, invalid, test failed. Invalid, valid, test failed. Invalid, invalid, test failed. So this is how we are going to perform automation testing by using Selenium tool. In the next coming session onwards, we are going to get into the introduction to Selenium and we are going slowly we will get into the scripting part. Before we get into the scripting part, we will be having some brush up sessions. Guys who are completely new on programming language or else who are completely new for manual testing topics also, no need to worry about that. Only thing is a little more attention is needed. We will be doing a core brush up on these things so that you can easily pick up the things.